Have you ever considered that the world around you is not exactly as it appears? Imagine if reality itself could be shaped and molded, not by force, but simply through the way you pay attention. Modern science and ancient wisdom have quietly agreed upon something extraordinary. Everything you touch, see, and experience is energy in motion. But here's the shocking truth. Despite its profound implications for how we live, hardly anyone teaches you how to consciously interact with it. What if your life could transform simply by understanding the invisible currents that connect everything around you? And what if this knowledge wasn't just theoretical, but practical, immediately accessible, and waiting for you right now? Today, you'll discover secrets that few talk about, let alone teach. If you've felt something missing, an underlying mystery to reality that calls your curiosity, then prepare yourself. Because once you step through this doorway, your perception will never be the same again. Beneath the surface of everything we see, touch, and hold lies movement. Not the kind our eyes detect, but subtle pulses, waves of information, frequency, and vibration. From the smallest atom to the furthest star, all things are composed of patterns in motion. Quantum physicists now confirm what ancient mystics whispered for centuries. Everything is energy, responding to the awareness that perceives it. The very act of observation influences reality, like a shadow cast not by light, but by attention itself. If we were to examine this more closely, the famous double-slit experiment serves as a key. Particles behave like waves when unobserved, but collapse into form the moment we look. It's as though the universe holds its breath until we decide what we expect to find. This isn't simply science. It is a mirror of how your own thoughts and beliefs sculpt the experience you call life. And so, your inner world becomes the architect of your outer one. Let us consider your day-to-day moments. The tension you feel before a meeting, the peace during a walk in nature. These are not coincidences, but energy fields taking shape through perception. You are not a passive observer, but a participant in the dance of creation. Your awareness shapes energy like a sculptor with clay, each thought a gentle press, each emotion a finishing stroke. But how do we train this energy control with intention, rather than leave it to unconscious patterns? Your brain is not fixed. It is not a machine sealed in final form, but more like a garden, ready to reshape itself with the right seeds of attention. This remarkable flexibility is known as neuroplasticity, and it reveals something vital. You can rewire your thoughts, behaviors, and beliefs through consistent awareness. Energy control, then, is not about dominating force. It is about refinement. It begins with noticing which thoughts are growing wild and which ones deserve to be nurtured. Think of it this way. Every time you replay a worry or fear, you strengthen that path in your mind. But just like walking a forest trail, forging a new one is possible if you walk it often enough. When we focus our attention with clear intent, new circuits begin to form, and old ones fall dormant. This is the alchemy of modern awareness, turning heavy thought iron into lightness of being. The mind, like energy, responds to gentle mastery far more than forceful effort. To begin, reflect on your reactions. The moment you feel a surge, irritation, excitement, confusion, pause. Ask yourself, what am I feeding with my energy right now? The very question creates space, and in that space, new wiring begins. But to sustain this shift, we must go even deeper, into the body itself, where breath and presence become the gateway to the subtle undercurrents we often miss. There is a doorway within you that requires no key, no ritual, only attention. It is your breath. Inhale, and you gather energy. Exhale, and you release what no longer serves. When you observe your breathing without changing it, you begin to sense something extraordinary. The vibration of stillness beneath all movement, the awareness that watches without judgment. Monks have sat in caves for decades, not to escape the world, but to deepen their presence within it. Their breath became the rhythm of mountains. In conscious breathing, we are returned to the present, not as a concept, but as a felt experience. And within that stillness, energy speaks. It whispers through tingles in the hands, a warmth in the chest, or the clarity that emerges when silence is allowed to bloom. The breath leads us home to the body, where awareness is most alive. And it is in the body that we begin to feel energy, not as an idea, but as something real, something that flows, responds, and shifts. We stop trying to control and begin to listen, but listening requires us to shed the habits of overthinking and return to a state of trust, something children and animals do without ever being taught. There was a time when you moved without hesitation. As a child, you danced when music played, ran without reason, and trusted each step. You did not need to plan or analyze. You felt and responded. That state, so natural in youth and in animals, is what we call flow. It is the purest form of energy control, not forced but instinctive, guided by vibration rather than thought. The more we grow, the more we are taught to contain ourselves, to sit still, be quiet, think logically, and wait. In doing so, we often sever our connection to that effortless rhythm. Flow becomes foreign, but it can be restored. Watch a cat leap without calculating, or a child play without permission. They are aligned with patterns beyond conscious awareness. To return to flow is to unlearn the rigidity that adulthood brings. Let your body guide you without interruption. Let your energy move without judgment. Walking barefoot on grass, stretching without goal, or moving to music with eyes closed, these are doorways. And with time, they reopen the pathway to deeper intelligence. But to remain in that flow, we must strengthen one more vital skill, the manual focus of our attention. Most people allow their attention to wander, drifting from thought to thought like leaves on a river. But attention can be trained, deliberately, like a lens shifting from auto to manual. When we choose where to place it, we begin to see what has always been there. Subtle energy, silent signals, hidden movements. Like tuning a radio, a small adjustment can reveal an entire new frequency. Athletes call it the zone. Artists describe it as being lost in their work. What they've all learned is that the quality of their awareness shapes their experience. When we practice manual focus, say by concentrating on a sound, sensation, or idea, we sharpen the mind like a blade. The noise fades. What remains is clarity, and with it, control over how our energy moves. Try this. Place your attention on your hands. Feel the temperature, the tingling, the pulse. With enough stillness, you will sense an energetic presence, something real, yet often ignored. This is the gateway to perceiving energy more directly. But to build upon this perception, we must now explore how practical exercises help awaken dormant circuits and reconnect us with energy on a deeper level. Theory opens the door, but practice lets you walk through it. To sense energy directly, start with your hands. Rub them together gently, then hold them a few inches apart. You may feel warmth, tingling, or a magnetic push. This is your own field in motion. These exercises awaken dormant neural circuits and bring subtle vibrations into conscious awareness. Energy control does not need rituals or rare talent. It requires curiosity and repetition. When you focus on a single point, like the air between your palms, you train the brain to recognize patterns it once ignored. This isn't imagination, it's perception evolving. As your sensitivity grows, everyday moments begin to shimmer with new texture and presence. The invisible starts to reveal itself. Simple techniques like scanning your body with attention or focusing on the crown of your head can open deeper channels. As you practice, energy becomes something you feel, not just believe in. And once you feel it, you begin to trust it. But before long, something fascinating begins to happen. Your inner lens shifts, and so too does the reality you experience. Let us now look more closely at how perception shapes our world. Imagine wearing glasses with colored lenses. Every experience you have is filtered through them. These lenses are made of your thoughts, assumptions, and memories. What you expect to see often shapes what you do see. If you believe the world is hostile, you'll find threats. If you believe it's abundant, you'll spot opportunities. Perception is not passive, It is participatory. This is why two people can witness the same moment and walk away with different realities. One sees rejection, the other sees redirection. Through visualization and imagination, you can edit the film playing in your mind. Athletes rehearse victory mentally before ever stepping onto the field, because the subconscious treats imagined experience like real experience. This is how you reshape your energetic output. Try revisiting a memory, but this time, change the outcome. Shift your inner movie. Watch how your body responds. Tension softens, breath deepens. The vibration you emit alters in real time. When you refine your perception, you alter your experience, and reality begins to follow. Yet to truly dismantle the illusion we live through, we must now examine something deeper still. The very identity we've been taught to play. Who are you, really? Not the name, nor the job title, not even the story you tell yourself before sleep. These are masks, layers shaped by culture, upbringing, fear, and pride. We wear them to fit in, to survive, to be loved. But beneath them lies something untouched, a quiet observer, a presence that remains the same even as everything else changes. You are not the roles you've played. You've been the student, the child, the partner, the warrior, but each one is temporary, like characters in a play. The mind creates identities like costumes, each stitched from belief and memory. But when you step back and simply watch the performance, you find freedom. True awareness rests not in the mask, but in the one who sees it. Begin to question the script. Who wrote it? Who benefits from you living it? When you become the watcher rather than the actor, the grip of old roles begins to loosen. The vibration of your being shifts, no longer clinging, no longer defending. And in that space, something ancient and powerful stirs. But to understand it fully, we must now return to where we began, the forgotten truth that everything is energy. So now that you've glimpsed the unseen world behind the visible, what do you feel shifting within you? Could it be that the energy you once overlooked has always been responding to you, waiting for your awareness to awaken? And if so, how might your life begin to change? Simply by observing more closely, breathing more consciously, or choosing a new inner movie? What role have you been playing that no longer serves you? And what deeper presence have you sensed beneath it all? If even a part of you is curious to explore these questions further, then you're exactly where you're meant to be. Let's continue uncovering the truths that were always there, just waiting for you to see. If this resonated with you, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell so you never miss a moment of the journey. There is more to discover, and it all begins within.